It's 11:59 at Radio Free America, and this is Uncle Sam with music and the truth until dawn. Right now, I got a few words for some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song.
So I'm going to be scheduling, well, filling out the things for the show here. So I figured I'd go live. It's live over on Patreon. So if you're a member of Patreon, then you can head over and there's a link for you there. Oh, you know what? Did I post that to everybody or just the Patreons? I should probably edit that. Doesn't need to be public. It can be to Patreons only. There we go. So if you're over on Patreon, then you can get a link to this and you could join in. So I'm over here and I will be scheduling out the show. So I could probably head over here. Probably head up this way. We run them through events. This is the one that's live right now that I'm in, and we'll make some new ones. Shoot. So I got to do them this way. That means I can click over here and open these in new tabs. So let's say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And that's probably all I have time for right now. So there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, 4, and 5. All right, so now open up our schedule over here where we keep track of what's going on and figure out what the numbers are for these things. Day number 301. Was going to try to listen to the lobby, but the lobby just shut down. So we don't have a lobby right now. So let's see if anybody's watching. We got 4 people watching. Either to comment or I can shut it down because I don't need to have this just silence. I can listen to the radio or something, which I don't think I can do when I'm listening to a Hangout. So there's that. Figured I'd let it open in case anybody wanted to jump in. Of course, it's not mandatory or anything, but like I say, there's no need to have it just wasting space on the internet. If no one's going to jump in and chat, then we can move on. Nobody's saying nothing. I'm guessing those 4 people aren't saying much. No one is driving. He's driving Miss Daisy, I'm assuming. He didn't fill that out completely, but I'm thinking he's just busy driving Miss Daisy. So he only wrote, I'm driving. Because it's his favorite movie. So he Ubers, but he calls everybody Daisy, Miss Daisy. He gets a lot of penalties and stuff, but he does it for free, so he doesn't care. Money. It was rich people investments. So he doesn't really work for a living as much as just drives people around to fill out that. All right, this is super boring. So if nobody's going to jump in, I will shut it down. 6 people watching. Still nobody. Nobody jumping in. Nobody jumping in. I guess I will shut it down. So we'll be back in about an hour with the actual show. But just figured I'd post this, see if anybody want to jump in. Now there's 7 people watching. Where are we going?
Important security message. Your computer has been locked up.
Uh-oh.
Your IP address was used without your knowledge.
Oh, shit.
10 were chosen as Barbara Worthy. How fun is that going to be? ABC Sunday. Barbara Walters goes one up. Welcome to the Shark Tank.
I don't know what episode I was on.
We're entrepreneurs.
Fucking fuckers. Ha! Still live. Alright, well, so now I gotta figure out how to get that shit back up.
because you have one customer. Like, why aren't you talking about Best Buy and Target and other customers to diversify your revenue?
Best Buy and Target sales together, music don't equal what Walmart
That's
sells.
not a man.
And one of the things about our growth, we turn down about 50% of the people who come to us asking for business because we want to keep it exclusive. We want to be a product that's just for super fans.
All right, and then I'll make you an offer with in terms of what I think it's worth. Okay? What do you think it's worth, Joe? I would do the $725,000 for 35%. That's basically what a venture from gives away. Otherwise, it's not too much of a risk.
Well, we don't see it as a risk because, as we said, we're working to do more and more of our business outside of Walmart. The Walmart relationship has been amazing because our history of 3.5 years with Walmart has allowed us to work with 75 different amazing.
But you know what do you project your sales to be next year?
$8 million.
So, why do you need us?
So we feel very confident about our ability in the music space. We've been living it and breathing it every single day. Where we are going to need help is as we grow into other verticals. So we know that this is an amazing opportunity for support.
And look, I see what you guys are doing. It's great, but I also see the desperation side too. The challenge is it's a declining industry, as you know, physical CD. And you're aware of that. And you're looking to complement all your other areas. You haven't really given us a strategy to get beyond Walmart. I don't see the future yet for that reason.
Thank you, Mark. For us, it's not going to be a dying thing because there are super fans out there for everything. That's why the whole companies like Comic-Con exist. People love NASCAR.
You're still okay, guys. Let me help. Listen here, I'm going to take a flyer with you. I'll give you the 725, 30%. He's an amazing job today. I get it right away, and I get the extension to the super fan. I think that's what some of the other sharks are missing.
I get it too. I almost think that, sometimes when something like this seems to go away, some people start to really miss it more and want something tangible.
Exclusive.
I keep saying exactly. I love supporting.
What are they talking about?
Women. I'm going to make you an offer. I would like, though, to have Robert come in with me. We would give you $725 for 20%.
I'm happy to go on with Lori. I think she's the right partner. I think we bring different things to it. I'll go in at 25%. So 25% for Dana, with 20% between Robert and Lori. I'm 725 for 35%. That's all you're worth. I'm sorry.
And I just want to clarify, our sales will be close to $4 million this year. That $3 million is our guarantee.
I will adjust down to 30% then. Oh, you're so generous. Those are serious offers. That's a lot of cash in Shark Tank. What are you guys going to do? One shark is out. Kim and Brittany have 3 offers from the other 4 sharks for their creative packaging company, Zine Pack. Those are serious offers. That's a lot of cash in Shark Tank. What are you guys going to do?
We have a team of such hardworking women in New York. Before we left, they said, we'd love for you to not do a deal that values you at less than $5 million because we've worked so hard and done so much to help build this company up. So I'm wondering if you all would be interested in doing a deal at 14%.
Wow.
$725,000 for 14%.
No, I'll pass on that. I'm out.
Shit.
I've worked so hard for the last 45 years to get to this seat. I can only go as low as 20%. Brittany, you're at 14%. We're at 20%. Stop at the
We will meet you in the middle at 17.5.
Don't do it.
Let us confer, please.
Let us confer, please.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Amazing job. I think it's a good deal, except you overpaid 2 years ahead. Kevin, I don't think it was high, Lori. It doesn't matter what they say.
We're really excited about the deal we made. With a little more equity than we wanted to give up, but for 2 sharks, it was a game well played.
you making an offer?
I am $50,000, 50% of the business.
We'd love to accept your offer. Let's see how they're doing now. When we first pitched, we were a small company with barely any sales. Now, 5 years later, we have over $10 million in sales in a Pork-Barrel barbecue restaurant. Thank you. Enjoy. Our distribution has exploded. We're at 5,000 stores with another 3,000 on the way by 2015. It's a lot of barbecue sauce. There it is. Look at that. With Barber's help, our dream has come true. Our products have made it on the shelves of Sam's Club.
$2 million. Congratulations.
Thanks, Barbara. Sam's Club picking up our products in all their stores.
Mark Cuban? I like the blonde chick. She's my hero. Not this one, the other one.
Ethan and Brett have been trying to get into Sam's Club for over 3 years. They camped out in the parking lot trying to meet the upper management. I introduced them to the upper management and bam! The order finally
Looks like they upgraded some shit over on Gun Channel, so you gotta probably turn your chat sounds off.
Live the American dream, cooking the American cuisine. There's nothing more American than two guys with a good idea and really being able to create something from nothing. Next up is a business to ensure you always have the best seat in the house. Hello, my name is Jamie Manning, and I'm Dean Whitney. We're here today from Boston, Massachusetts. Our company is Snagastool. We are seeking $120,000 in exchange for an 18% stake in our company. Snagastool is the first and only mobile app that ensures you'll get the best seat at your favorite bar. The bar, you get the best service, the best view of the TV, and you get to talk to the bartender. But as we all know, sometimes it's impossible to get a seat at the bar. Naturally, we thought, there's got to be an app for that. But there wasn't. So we created one. Now, with Snagastool, you simply pick your favorite bar, like the Shark Tank Bar and Grill, and make a mean Mark Cuban Libra. You can select the date and the time, and the number of bar stools, and you get to snag the best seat in your house. Bars love Snagastool. It creates new opportunities to fill off-peak times, to attract new customers, and to create lifelong fans. We've created an incredible customer experience, and we've proven that with some amazing bars. So the only question we have left, Sharks, who wants to Snagastool? Why do I need you? You said off-peak times. If I own the bar and it's off-peak, the bar stool's empty anyway. You don't need to reserve it. If the bar is super busy, what's the benefit to me to leave the bar stool empty waiting for you? Someone's always going to sit in it. That's right. So there are 2 time periods on Snagastool, and we've identified those as peak times and off-peak times. Okay. And during the off-peak times, that's when bars will offer incentives, like a free beer or a free appetizer, to attract people to their bar to fill those stools. Okay, so I go on your app, I get a free beer. That's right. And the advantage of the bar is to get customers in when it's not busy.
Absolutely. I could see like people just really being pissed off if they go into their favorite bar, it's jam-packed, and there's 2 signs like that on stools.
I could see having those there. It could be like, make it interesting, right? Who's coming, it's reserved. Just like when you see reserved tables. I'm from Boston, okay? I've never heard of this, all right? Let's talk about El Supremo Bar Stool. Upstairs bar, Grill 23.
If you're on Patreon, then you can join in. There's links over there.
I'm not having any trouble filling that bar. In fact, people are screaming to sit on one of those seats. So how does it work? Let's say I want to go to a Pats game and I don't want to sit there for 2 hours to keep my seat. Is there any way I can use your app to reserve my seat 15 minutes before game time? It depends on if the bar has enough inventory of stools and if they haven't been snagged. So they allocate a certain amount. That's right. Not all bar stools are open for the service. People are willing to pay for this experience. So for people who aren't able to get to the bar 2 or 3 hours early, people who are working late, people who don't have the ability to sit and nurse a beer for hours, these bars now have the ability to provide. How do you charge? So we charge by the hour or by the game, depending on what the bar was. So give me an example. Yeah, so right now we partnered with some amazing bars in the Boston area. How many? So right now we're with 3 bars, and that's three bars. Yep. Guys, I get you got to crawl before you fall, but why just 3 bars? So we just wanted to start off with a pilot, and we really wanted to partner with people who really believed in the concept. we're not going to take revenue from these because you have no sales. It's our proof of concept. There are so many apps right now designed for bars. Why are they even going to deal with you when you're just one of 50 apps that are approaching them? So, Mark, in our opinion, the art of bartending has died slowly. We're trying to get back to the days when a bartender reached across the bar, knew your name, knew who you were. You better roll up your pant legs when you say that, right? Because it means a lot. Because that's how you build loyalty. Is by providing an enhanced customer service. But that's not what you're selling, though. Except, there's something intriguing about your concept because there's probably 25 stools upstairs at 123, another 40 downstairs and downstairs bar. They're the most coveted seats for any game. So why do they need that? Wait, hear me out on this. If I could go to them and say, well, give me 20% of your inventory, and I'll guarantee you $200 for that seat. But Kevin's almost right? He's always right. Look, the only way that I think this is going to work is if you went to this 23 and you said, you know what, I'm going to guarantee you $10,000 up front. Then you have inventory. Well, it's not even for inventory. It shows them the value. Well, you have a guaranteed revenue stream. Right, it's yeah, but you just say, you know what, give me 5 bar stools every Friday and Saturday night. I'm going to write you the check in advance, and what they spend on the bar is still yours. You guys keep on saying there's value, but you haven't shown a way to sell
Bob.
that. And because you haven't been able to figure that out.
We're live, by the way.
I'm not okay. And I can't help you with this. I'm out.
I'm just fiddling around with getting the show ready for the week, listening to Shark Tank.
And going backwards.
That's cool. Hungry with the early.
You're selling access to something that in peak times gets sold out anyway. The fundamental problem is you're selling the reason he wants for your service and not the stuff that's really hard to get. For that reason, I'm out.
For that reason, I'm out.
Because people like to feel special.
You ever watch this show, Bob?
So by being able to reserve a seat, they get the convenience, they get to
Yeah, I watch it all. Well, I used to watch it all the time, yeah.
So I get that. My problem is it's just too early. Only a free bars are just starting.
There's a Canadian version of it, too.
Oh, yeah, I've been talking to you about that.
And then there was one. All roads lead back to Mr. Wonderful, and here we are again. There's a kernel of a really interesting idea here. The test should be with a bar that actually has incredibly valuable real estate. I've been going to 23 for 20 years with my buddies to watch pack games. There is no price I wouldn't pay to sit there with them, okay? But the hassle is I got to go 2 hours early to establish my real estate. If you came in here and said, we've got a deal with Grill 23, you'd have a hell of an auction going on. That's not what you brought me. You brought me stuff, let's bring some incremental dollars in at a really bad time. I want to make money getting access to real estate that I covet. That's what the internet would be great at. That's where your model would work. When you show me a bar like Grill 23 agreeing to do that, then I know you've got something to go nationwide. I invite you back when it's fixed, and I'm not paying a dime more. Evaluation today because I gave you all the good ideas. I mean, I share your business good ideas. We just gave you a lesson on how to fix it. There's nothing to invest in here, I know. You guys did not give us these ideas. These ideas came to us in the last 5 months of testing with these bars. Guys, I think we're done here. We'll see you at Grill 23. They can't get a seat. Yeah, that's the problem. Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck.
These mag stools are tinderbox, ready to just take off, and we're really going to take this to the next level in the next year.
I'm Aaron, and I'm Sasha, and our company's front-based, and we're based in Los Angeles, California.
American men are ready for a different type of fashion brand. On this
I'm ready for a new type of fashion brand. Fuck yes.
This is a real struggle show, bud.
And we have a business model that simplifies the shopping experience and makes it impossible for guys to mess up.
Oh, that's what I need. Exactly.
20 and 3 A's, baby.
American made is absolutely a priority for us.
Most people don't know that less than 2% of clothing purchased in America is actually made in America. We really need to press the collar up, get all the wrinkles out. The idea of not having a personal relationship with the craftsman, making our jeans, making our shirts, just didn't make sense to us.
I like the idea of on the tag of your pants, it could say like what the craftsman, the artisan craftsman eat for dinner or lunch.
We need this investment to create a
Something like a plant-based raw diet range lane reservation app. That sounds pretty good. Clay came up with that right now, based off of ripping off that other guy.
Hi, Sharks. I'm Eric Schauenberg. Job stops and come. We're from Los Angeles, California. Our company is Buck Mason. We're seeking $200,000 in exchange for 8% of our company. Growing up, I always thought my father dressed cool. He wore the exact same thing every day. Beat up blue jeans, a white v-neck tee, and a flannel work shirt. He was a brick mason, so I guess he wasn't trying to look cool. He was simply dressing out of function. These days, it's pretty easy for a guy to get overwhelmed when it comes to shopping. Too many choices, too many trends, too many products, country countries.
Who the hell pays attention to what their dad wears? I'm assuming he wore pants and shirts and stuff, but I don't remember what the fuck he wore.
And a classic Oxford shirt. On our website, we show our customers how our products are being made and who's actually making them. We call this American-made price transparency. At Buck Mason, we're ignoring fashion trends. It's not about standing out or fitting in. It's about taste. And listen, we're not your ordinary fashion designers. We're two Midwestern guys obsessed with reclaiming American quality. Sharks, who wants to help us build the next great American clothing brand? Can we see some of the clothes? Yes.
No, because we don't care about fashion.
Fit my size for me. Get my 28-inch waist.
Oh, this feels nice.
So, Keith, Eric, walk me through how I buy it. Where do I get it? Sure. Website. There's two ways to purchase product. One is the individual single items, which, as you can see, are really wearable. They're cool now, they'll be cool 50 years from now. There is another way that we sell merchandise on the site, and that's through curated packages. So what we do is we put together 3 to 6 pieces that you cannot mess up. The reason why we work for you is because it's for guys that are just busy. You know, guys that don't have time to shop, or guys that have no fashion sense.
And what do you charge for a pair of jeans?
So those jeans are $135. $135 is not cheap for a pair of jeans. The $135 is a great
How much
value
your pants cost,
for
Bob?
the product that we're actually making.
$140?
We're about as competitive as you can get.
I would pay $140 for pants if they were like fireproof.
24 button-down shirt.
I think my jeans generally run about $30. Maybe not even that. $20, 20 to $30 a pair.
What did you do for a living before you did this?
I spent 15 years in the apparel business.
I mean, I wear out 2 pair a year, so.
Prior to starting Buck Mason with Eric,
Your pants don't last you a year?
Content platform called Biz Built America, profiling companies that
Yeah, I'm wearing the jeans, knock them out or something.
If I become a customer,
I buy pants and then I never replace them until years later when I need to buy another pair of pants.
Yeah, well, say about every couple of years I got to replace mine.
good. And of that 38, 10% have purchased more than 3 times.
That's amazing.
So,
But that's 2 pair of pants that I wear. I just rotate a pair of jeans. Pretty much I wear the same jeans all the time.
I understand what you're trying to do. Buck Mason is an American heartfelt.
Here, it's great. You only wear shorts, so you'd never wear your,
It's going to be less than a lifetime. That's the business model is. Because I don't hear a retail rollout strategy. I don't hear any point of retail behavior. He's partially right. We've been very successful today with acquiring customers at very little to absolutely no cost. We've been doing it through both our social and PR channels. We've had a lot of success through social. It's been a valuable tool for us. So give us your metrics on social. Instagram's been very helpful. We have an influencer program, okay? We identify people that we relate to very well on Instagram. They have very high-line followers. Most of them are photographers, and the reason why we focus on them and not specifically putting a lot of effort into fashion bloggers is because more or less we're an anti-fashion brand. Like, we're focusing on the basics and classics. We're not following trends. And our customer is following these photographers, not the fashion blogs. They're not cheap.
And what are you doing for these photographers? Are you giving them affiliate money?
Yeah, it's not gifting.
Is your vision to take the 200,000 and accelerate the existing business model, or are you going to expand into retail or go into wholesale?
Primarily online.
You're going to stay with this business?
Yeah. How much have you guys invested? Sasha and I are the only investors. We've invested $10,000.
So can you do 500,000 this year? Is that what you think?
Sure.
Yeah. And what are you going to make on that after you pay yourselves?
We just started paying ourselves. We think that we'll make about probably about $35,000 on that.
Ooh.
Guys, I think what you're doing is great, but I just don't want to be the close business. It's that simple. I'll be a customer. It's just not a fit for me. And for those reasons, I'm out. Thank you. Thank you.
You two are hipsters, and for that reason, I'm out.
And I love the Made America story. But I think if you were farther ahead, farther down the road, I'm not sure how much I could add to the mix of knowing what's really right to hit guys in the heart of what they want to wear.
Well, you can hit me in the heart of
So,
anything.
Thank you. Well, look, guys, incredible that you got to this point with $10,000. That's remarkable. But I just don't understand how customers are finding. You know, and for me, as an online company, that's the struggle.
Those are only hard. Those are only hope.
Basically, companies in clothing trade at around 4 times.
That guy's a Canadian too, huh? This guy and that last guy are both Canadians, I think.
Making somewhere between $600,000 and $750,000 after tax to get a valuation of $2.5 million.
I think so. I think, the lonely barber guy, I thought he Canadian?
Concept is starting to show some traction.
I think 2 of them are.
200,000 or something. I think you're going to have to follow half the company. I think what you're investing in here is, the vision and the talent on board. Well, guys, if you've been in the business this long, you know that this valuation is somewhat crazy. 2.5 million, you can put your value on what you think you're going to do in the future. I guess that's the value of it. But my daddy didn't have 2 crystal balls, so I can't see in the future, right? This is way too costly for me. This is my industry. I'm out.
So there's one shark left.
Well, the most fashionable sharks left. Kevin, I don't know what to do here. I'm not sure what you're worth right now. You're worth a partnership and a beginning of a brand that no one's heard of until today. So the only way I can do this deal is I'll give you $200,000.
I give hands from Salvation Army. For that reason, I'm out.
And that's generous.
Nice.
There's no other way to do it because you're so far from making money. I mean, how are you guys even eating? That's why they make skinny jeans. Airbnb business Pleasant Grounds and like nuts. Well, that's what I mean. I mean, that is a startup. You are governed by gravity. Is that your offer? It's really I'll give you $200,000 for 50%. I'll help get your word out. I'm probably obviously going to be one of your customers because I like what you do. I don't know if that's a good deal. I think it is. I'm very fashion forward. So, at the end of the day, that's the only offer you're going to get because everybody else is out. This is something that we have scraped and clawed to do, and we're building it brick by brick. And for us to give up more than 15% equity in the company at this stage of the game is not something we'd be interested in. So understand
Sucker.
what gravity's done to you here today in the Shark Tank. Looking at the dollars you generate from it in a commodity business.
Peanut butter and bread and honey.
Stick to your guns, guys. I mean, there should be no
That'd be pretty good.
Counter him.
We would like to count off you with 200,000, 50% plus 100,000.
Place a banana onto it.
Yes.
Nah, not with honey. It's too much.
200,000.
Oh, no.
Credit specifically for inventory. They'll throw in a lifetime supply of free clothing. You get a lifetime supply of free clothing.
I can buy a lot of jeans for $200,000.
What do you think?
Guys, I provide factories for all my companies. When you have real sales and it's working, it's not hard to finance that. I don't need to worry about that. I'm still stuck with how I ever get my money back. Under the model you just gave me, you're going to have to make $2 million after tax. Kevin, all you got to do is go door to door, sell some jeans, and if they're marginally. Look, it's the first year. I'll give you the $200,000 plus $100,000 line of credit for 25.
Dude, everybody was out, and then they started biting off of that bald guy, and now they're all back in again.
I wouldn't even do that deal. So, guys, if you don't want my original offer,
Yeah, but for a lot more of the company.
That's true, but that's interesting how they'll do that sometimes.
I think you're going to make it. I don't know if I see the huge future vision. You got to take
Well,
that.
sometimes if they see one of the guys do it, they think there must be something there I'm missing.
That's what I'm thinking. Or maybe they just hear the guys talk more, and they're like, okay.
I wouldn't consider anything guys use that far. You need $800,000 of free cash to get anywhere near even that. I got this. I got a drill right there. Look, Robert's a great partner. And I'm going to tell you on Robert and why you should do this. You're going to be able to turn your inventory from that cash so many times and create so much more value with that cash. You'll swamp the 10% delta. That is a hell of a deal. That is a hell of a deal with what you're at today. You make no money. You're Airbnb your house. Robert,
huge fans, and we appreciate your offer.
It's the right offer.
At this point,
The right offer. Don't make a mistake.
because we believe, guys, you're overvaluing us. We sometimes cash.
Yeah. Listen, man, look, guys, I'm all about owning the equity as long as you can. But some businesses require cash up front. $300,000 is going to get you inventory. You're going to.
If your fucking business is so good, just buy it back later.
If you're going to walk out of here and you're going to say to yourself, wish I had said
Yeah.
yes.
We should have said yes to her. I already know that.
Robert,
I want her to be my sugar mama. She can just buy me stuff
It's a win, and
for favors.
for us to give up that much equity at this stage is not in our interest. We could do the same deal for 17%.
Now, guys, now we're getting into the realm of silly. An 8% delta on something this new, it just doesn't make sense. This is real investment by you guys and what you've built so far. 200,000, 25%, 100,000 on a line of credit. We'll get there quickly together.
They gonna do it?
Thank you so much for your offer, Robert. We have to decline.
They probably just came on to get their brand recognized. People do that
Congrats, guys. Good luck. Thank you. Thank you.
Go on.
because they're idiots.
We're trying to build something that we can give to our children. Giving up 25%.
It's just a fucking clothing business. What the fuck you want to give that to your kids for?
Everything comes right off the front. Welcome to my world, the world of designers.
I think at once they've invested so much of their time and everything into it. You know, they've got their lives invested in it, so now it's become, you know, this is going to be my legacy.
I guess so. Maybe it's different when you have kids or something, but I sell my shit in a minute.
You know, I would too. If I had any shit to sell.
I'm gonna take Daily Gun Show on Shark Tank.
I live in Atlanta, Georgia.
Hey, why not?
Is Knowing USA.
That blonde chick's gonna be the boss of us.
$100,000 in exchange.
That'd be all right.
That'd be great.
High-tech insoles that absorb and disperse.
I'm all for women. I wouldn't mind having a woman, you know, working above me,
Jump.
you know, with that glass ceiling and all that.
Currently, to try to alleviate this problem, we buy something like this. It's soft, it's cushy, and so we think it'll fix our problem. But
What are
it
you
doesn't.
talking about?
Take a look. The bounce of the ball is just going to show how energy is actually transferred back up into our bodies with each and every step that we take. It's called the rebound effect, and that rebound effect causes chronic pain and injury.
You just bounced a marble off of a regular thing you put inside your shoe.
Vulcanized rubber, and it's remarkably able to absorb and internally disperse the shock, leaving very little to no rebound effect.
Huh.
So what I'm going to do
He's
is-
dropping a big ass ball bearing onto this piece of marble,
I'm gonna lay it on top.
and then he put like
Weighted bocce ball and drop it on the middle.
What?
Let's see what happens.
What? That's a trick. That's a trick. He took a piece of glass and he stuck it on the marble, and then he put his rubber thing on there, and then he dropped this big ass bowling ball thing on there.
Effective presentation. I
Wow.
have one other demonstration to show really quick.
Now I want to put those in my shoes.
A regular pink rubber ball, and here was a rubber ball that's made of no ink. Let's compare the difference. Oh, that's cool. I have some insoles here for you because every shoe and sneaker needs a pair of no ink. So I guarantee you, our product is thinner than a dime. I would challenge you to find another product that's thinner than a dime to protect the glass, like I just did. So these that I just handed out, these are called our under insoles. And what you do is you take out the original insole of your sneaker, you put this in your sneaker, and then you put your original insole back in. It's so thin and light, it doesn't change the fit of your shoe. In addition to the sport insole, what we were able to do is actually come up with our women's heel version. And that's the prototype we are actually in the final stages of finishing.
So, Ryan, how did you invent this? Are you a doctor?
No, I am not a doctor, I'm not a scientist. I played in the NFL for 10 years.
You played in the NFL?
I did. Well, yes, I did. I was drafted to Atlanta in the second round, 3 years there, 1 year in New Orleans, and 6 in Buffalo.
Wow.
So our first quarter is we're focusing on insoles. Why? Because it's a product that sells over in Europe. The second phase is actually the different sport applications, such as baseball bat grips, boxing gloves, tennis rackets, tennis elbow, golf elbow, all of that.
Take us back to the background you have why this works.
Okay, so first, Domain is a company over in Europe that has been selling for a long period of time. They own the product. They own the
Do you
product.
mind sharing your sales?
They bring in, on average, about $1.2 million annually on installs.
You're not bringing us the European stuff, obviously. Did you guys sign a license with them?
Yes, so we signed an exclusive distribution agreement to where we have all of the US and Canada for the support installs.
How much do you buy a unit for?
$6.
$6? Whoa. $6 for a pair.
Yes, $6 per pair.
And how much do you sell it for?
$29.99 is
Whoa!
This is expensive.
No, it's expensive. $29.99 for a retail price. It's not expensive.
How much do you sell this last year?
So we pride our product on being thinner than a dime, and to this day, currently we have not sold a dime. And the reason
I should have put these things in my ear. Well, you know, the guy in basketball is always saying, I'm open, coach. And the coach said, there's a reason why you're open, right?
Wait a second. First, let me take a step back and first explain why we have not sold anything yet. We haven't taken it to market yet. I was introduced to the company in January.
So do you own that?
Yes, I do own that.
How much equity do you have?
So there's four less than 25%. And we've committed $1 million to this.
You're not committing $1 million. That's ridiculous. It makes no sense. Okay,
That's
but
right, sir.
why would you spend that much money?
We each have $250,000 to put in.
So you're saying that right now it doesn't make sense. You've dedicated, in case of the cash flow, you have the cash flow up to $1 million.
If you need it.
Yes, and that's where I came with the $1 million valuation. It wasn't off of projected sales or what we
Now we've heard your story. I can tell you with certainty, because of the fact that you really have no sales yet at all, that you're not going to get $1 million valuation for this, even if the product has the merits you suggest it has. And also, the structure of this deal doesn't make a lot of sense. The better place for you, Brian, is to actually negotiate the license deal with them and get a small piece of it. Nobody wants to start from scratch and build a distribution system for one insult. That makes no sense whatsoever.
It's not just one insult.
What is it?
We would take a licensing deal. We're not trying to just be a distribution
Yeah,
company.
you want to take any risk, you get this thing going, right?
We just want to get it going. And honestly, but it's more personal than just money to
Well, Brian, the story for me just doesn't add up. I'm not trying to say that you did necessarily a bad job, but I don't see the applications. I'm not.
Robert, I'm very sorry to hear that. I'm very sorry to hear that, and I can understand the skepticism.
I can't get around the fact that the unit cost $6, which means there's a whole lot of work. It's incredible.
It is a lot of work, but Kevin, can I just say this? A wise coach once told me, you cannot climb to the top of a mountain if the sides are...
No, I totally get
And
all that.
yes, there is work.
I would want 50. I'd want half the company for the amount of work ahead. So, I'm out.
I'm sorry to hear that, Kevin.
I think it's interesting. I will definitely be a tester,
Okay.
but because I don't know for sure, for that reason I'm out.
Man, I'm sorry to hear that, Lori. I was hoping the women's heels through QVC.
Brian, I'm going to make you an offer. But there's a lot of contingencies.
Three sharks are out, but Mark wants to make an offer for Brian's insole company, No Eve.
If the science behind this is legit,
Yes.
then I'm interested.
Okay.
Right? But so we're going to do our due diligence.
Yes.
But I'm going to offer you $100,000 for 20%.
Okay.
One more contingency is you got to convince this guy to come in as my partner because he owns a tonic brand, right? And I think that if this truly does work, then making it as part of a shoe would be a unique value add, and I want to see if he believes in that.
Yeah, she was right. We purchased a brand new tonic, and it's been 3 years with us working on the running shoe because guys like Robert, you give him the wrong shoe, you're dead. That's it.
I completely understand. What are you going to do with it?
I'm gonna go in with Cuban and you can offer $100,000 for 20% on my side, and it sounds like $100,000 for 20%.
So you want 40 here? I thought we just split it.
Oh no. Oh no.
Okay, that's your fault. Got to make a decision then.
I know I would definitely
nothing.
my head cut off.
You got nothing.
3%.
Well, but you think of it like this: you're getting two sharks,
Right.
one with an immediate use for it, right? So now you have me on this side. I think you know Tony from Apple, right?
So we have a good amount of. Look, I did work with Skechers. They bring us in Robert Green and Skechers as well. So you've got an offer. You've got $200,000 for 40%. Each shark that's interested wants 20. On the other hand, these two are the right partners. What are you going to do?
You can counter.
Yes, I would definitely love to counter. So both of you wanted to give $100,000 for 25%. I like it at the 30%. 30%, they got it.
Cuban was about to do it for 20%.
They wanted 20% each.
The thing that has always motivated me is to make people proud. And I want one ending to see at the end of it. Ryan came through, he really made us proud.
Next Friday, the biggest night in Shark Tank history. These opportunities only come around once in a lifetime. A revolutionary new Shark Tank. If you're impressed, we'll look at the premiere beyond the tank. If you're going to play this game, why not play to it? And they swim with the shark.
Yeah, my boy.
Welcome, and I'm Pat Boone, aging singer, and like you, a lifelong entrepreneur. Our company is Zero Pollution Motors, and we are seeking $5 million in exchange for 50% of our company. Our goal is to give to America the meanest, cleanest, greenest form of auto transportation ever to hit our crowded, polluted cities. So, sharks, it is my great pleasure to introduce to you the air car. What? The car that runs on air. Wow. That's right, air, but highly compressed air. There it is. Air, of course, is the least expensive, most readily available, and the most environmentally perfect fuel there will ever be. And the air pod uses compressed air to drive the pistons in the engine. It is far superior to the electric car because of its price, and it eliminates the need for batteries, which are expensive and inefficient. Now, this is a picture we.
You ever heard of a car that runs off of air?
Life side. This is just the first.
Yeah, generally they'll only run a couple of miles, and plus you got to pay for
Good year.
compress the air.
I know you sold over 40 million records. They say I didn't get paid that many, but yes. What was your biggest hit? I'm just curious. Love Letters in the Sand. You know, I love cars. I do. I race cars. What made you think I wouldn't want to get in it and try it? Well, why isn't it here? I know. We would like you to be in it, and there's several reasons. One is that the car to come into the United States has to meet safety standards. It has in Europe already. Oh, so this is already a production car? It is moving into production. You buy the license to it, or you want to buy the license? You have the right to build the first plants in the United States. So Ethan, explain how it's powered. Is this compressed air? It is compressed air. It is not a combustion principle. It is a propulsion principle. Now, a crude way to illustrate would be blow up a balloon. It takes off. Pat, how fast does a lunchbox on wheels go? It will go about 50 miles an hour, tops. Is it self-perpetuating? In other words, is there a certain amount of compressed air within the vehicle to last a certain amount of time?
What the hell?
Plug in the AirPod to any outlet, and it takes 4 hours to charge. The motor charges itself. It compresses the air. How long does it last? You have 100 miles range. I'm a consumer. I'm coming to a store.
They just said you got 100 miles off that thing, Bob.
Yeah. Tell me why I'm going to buy the air. There's one big
4 hours on the charge it. So.
Tell me. I'll tell you.
So what?
The difference is, if there's a compressor at a gas station, just like you fill up your tires, you can fill up your car in 4 minutes. 10,000. 10,000 for the
car costs $10,000.
The car costs 10,000. The inventor, you may know the name E. Negre. The guy who developed the titanium piston. Titanium for the lighter motor. He's got 150 patents. He knows. So he's a real car guy. He loves cars. Right.
Titanium motor.
Manufacture it here, I thought.
We're going to manufacture in Hawaii. Yeah, we're going to
Manufacture in Hawaii.
$5 billion is for a plant, to build regional plant, to build the cars. Why Hawaii? Hawaii is a sort of enclosed community where they have pollution problems. They have high cost of gas, and it's more of a controlled place. Part of the concept of the company is not
I wonder how many
regional plants.
kilowatt hour though you can get.
Cars for that area.
Pat, can you share what it's made out of?
Fiberglass, polyurethane, and
It takes a fair bit of energy to run a
In like a regular.
compressor.
In a crash test.
Hold on.
so
What are you saying, Bob?
I say usually it takes a fair bit of energy to run a compressor. Like they're pretty power hungry, much more so than something like a battery charger. So I'm wondering what the kilowatt hour when you're using your own electricity to charge it per kilometer or per mile is. Because I'll bet it's a whole lot more than just a pure electric car.
No, just depends. Normally, air compressors are made from people that don't give a shit about electricity. But if you had like a water mill that compressed air, because it's all valves, you could have a windmill that compresses air. Seriously. So if you didn't care about time, like how long it takes, you could just have a bunch of little windmills compressing air all the way around everywhere. That just all gets, all that pressure just gets added onto something like a water tower. That's just a giant compressed air pile. That's where my space tubes would come into play.
That's true.
Yeah, these little cars are cool. They look like little smart cars, kind of.
we can't crash test until we crash a car, and we don't want to crash a prototype. We only have 3 prototypes, so we would be testing a car that was built from scratch. $5 million to build a factory in Hawaii. Then you have to market it, right? And not only do you have to let people know it exists, you have to convince them that they can trust it. Yeah, that's exactly why we're in Hawaii, because we want to do it slowly.
Okay, so your license is not for all of the United States, aren't
No,
So
it's
it's
for
for this one plant.
The company's called MDI, and they've just made a deal with Tata Motors for India, a $30 million deal. So they wrapped up India. And the MDI company has all of France.
So they only wait, a couple plants per territory.
Various regions, yeah.
Just so we can be crystal clear on the opportunity.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that I become a 50% partner in a plant in Hawaii and that I own that entire territory. Every car sold on every island in Hawaii is coming from that plant.
Is that true?
Yes. So, but if somebody builds a plant in San Francisco and ships a car into my territory,
Cannot happen.
okay,
Guys, I'm going to simplify things here, right? The smart thing as an
I'm out.
investor is to just watch what happens with Tata Motors in India, see how it sells, look at their experience, and then go watch somebody else open up a plant.
You're too late. This is happening right now. This wave is
If it was happening right now, you wouldn't be here. You'd already have the money and have the plant open. No, it's guys, I'm out.
Oh, you said no to
the
that.
strategy of trying to buy a license for a single plant is almost ludicrous. If you can't tie up an entire region, you're buying the right to become a dealer in Hawaii. You've got to lock up all of the United States.
Would you have $200 million you'd like to plop down for
You
that?
become the pioneers. You establish a region for $5 million, prove the model, and somebody else scoops the rest of the country.
Yeah.
That makes no sense to me as an investor.
We will be the first.
I get it.
And we
It's
have
not the
the
last.
inside connection to MDI.
I could go to MDI and simply do a deal right now without you for New York.
Well, here's my answer to that. Try. Because
Because they don't want my car in New York or my money.
no, they don't want to be double crossed.
There's
Our
a trust
company-
factor.
You could not go directly to Guy and say, I'm going to plop down $5 million and completely double cross us.
Yeah, you know what? Push comes to shove, their company gets in trouble. And
His
Kevin comes
company-
along with a $5 million offer for the right.
$5 million to Guy is small potatoes.
The way to make this work is to sit down and come up with a national strategy for the entire U.S. market, and then package that up and bring it to investors. You're trying to build a bakery before tasting the cake.
That's right, but we're going to allow others to taste the cake. That's what they've been waiting for.
I know the challenges of all the legal issues bringing product to market like this. It could take forever, and it's too early for me without your ability to actually get clearance to have this operate in America. So because of that, I'm out.
I like green products. I think that this compressed air concept could be a hero.
I don't know what the hell happened.
But for me, you would have to have the rights to all of the USA for me to really be interested. I'm out.
Your deal doesn't make a lot of sense for a shark at all because the return expectations on this are
far in the future. It's a monumental task. Nobody wants to launch this in Hawaii. I'm certainly not going to do it. I think I've articulated why. Yeah. You may have a shark who is so ingrained in the automobile industry. He may be crazy enough to do it. We're going to find out right now. But I'm out.
Think he's going to do it? Or do you see this one already?
4 sharks are out. Robert is Pat and Ethan's last chance for a deal for their air car.
Huh?
I don't think he's going to go for it.
Yeah, he's interested in stuff, but he doesn't like throwing his money away. That's why now.
I've invested in a lot of things, and I'm willing to invest in this too.
Look, I'm interested. I'm really interested. And he's full of hot air. Yeah. It's a low-cost commuter car for $10,000. Big market for that. The $5 million isn't that much, considering the size of this market. This is not something you're going to sell one state at a time, my friends.
I think this guy has $100 million, if I remember right.
The minute you're successful in Hawaii, somebody is going to lock up the other stuff. I don't want to make air cars in Hawaii. I want to bring this to the American market. I'm happy to give you $5 million for the right to go and sit at that table and negotiate a distribution deal with the people who own it. So I'm giving you $5 million for 50% contingent on being able to negotiate an American-wide deal.
And if you
Oh,
don't
shit.
get that deal,
What's contingent on that? Because I don't
then the $5 million goes
Yeah.
away.
He would be thrilled to have you make a deal with him. And I feel very certain that that number could come down. Because ultimately, having the U.S. rights is the goal to do.
Why are you even hesitating?
Well, I want to add one other Philip that you would be purchasing, and that is the golf cart.
Pat, you got to stop
Pat,
selling.
don't talk yourself out of a deal.
You got to make a decision.
Oh my gosh.
That was a good deal.
Funny to hear Pat Boone kind of being a tough guy.
I think it's worth it because now that guy paid $5 million, I guess, to get in on that, but he's also going to hook up with that guy in whatever country that is where he has all that other money. So that'd be Well, hell, I don't know if I'll be able to finish this. I'll try it.
I love cars. Thank you so much. Congrats, buddy. Thank you. When you're dealing with the reinvention of the motor, that leap of faith is the leap that people who are on the ground floor have to take. And we've been proven right for taking the jump.
High five, Robert.
Listen,
Awesome.
there might be something there. I hope there is.
Earlier this season, we saw Chef Heidi Lovick make a deal with Lori Grenier for her vegan cheese company, Heidi Homes.
We're currently available in 4 regions of Whole Foods Market. I have already secured growth into 5 more regions. But
Vegan cheese. We're going to get Bob eating some vegan cheese.
Against that growth.
I can't believe Robert took that deal. What the heck?
Oh, if I was taking that deal, I know who'd be painting them cars.
Yeah, well, and that's... I don't know exactly. Obviously, it must be some small little thing or something, but $5 million to make a car plant, that seems mind-boggling to me. Like, that is way too cheap. So what are they actually building? Like, what are they actually doing?
They pretty much look like a golf cart that goes 50 miles an hour on compressed air.
Mm-hmm. It's a future Smeggy. Deal with it.
Well, okay, even if it's a golf cart, I mean, how... whatever. I don't know. I have to see it. It just seems way too cheap for some type of plant.
Pretty plain little car. They're, your basic...
Then how are they ever going to drive in the U.S. then?
Well, that's one of the things they need to do crash tests on it. There's only 3 prototypes so far.
Oh, okay. Because, I mean, even the little smart car and stuff, right? I mean, that took a while to get all the crash test stuff. I mean, you're not going to be able to drive a golf cart on the road type of thing.
Yeah.
Well, at 50 miles an hour top speed, some freeways, they're probably not going to want you on.
Well, no, it's not. It's obviously not designed for freeway travel. It's designed for, someone who lives like in New York City or something, who goes a couple blocks or whatever.
At 100-mile range.
If it's surface streets, you can drive four-wheeler, like, what do they call them, four-wheelers, and go-karts and what do you call them?
Stuff here. That's an aberration. They don't allow that in Canada.
Well, they allow it out here. That's what I'm saying. As long as it's on surface street. So if that's application is in cities and shit, it's smaller to park, and you can pump it all day long. They can put infrastructures onto buildings. Just the down pressure going down elevator shafts could create compressed air.
Well, yeah, not enough. They probably need to be able to push that air up to hundreds of pounds of pressure into those tanks, if not more.
Yeah, and all you got to do is just barely change around, what do you call it, elevators, and then they could become giant pumps all day long. You're already spending that money, and you got to spend the money to bag them up, and then every time they go down, you would just be compressing air.
Yeah, exactly. If they were turned into a giant piston or something, right? Make it an air seal.
Or tiny ones, little tubes will do it. So yeah, they just never needed to do it yet. But tubes will save us.
It will actually make the elevators safer too, because they wouldn't be able to come down terminal velocity then.
Yeah, it'll take you 14 minutes to get down buildings, but it'll be
yeah, the first couple floors are real fast, and then it starts slowing down as the back pressure builds up.
But if you get more and more people to jump in the elevator, it goes faster.
Yeah, you can never get to the first floor by yourself. You have to bring a fat friend with you.
Then you think.
But it's the same. Powered cars the same way, right? They're fine in a city, but and in Europe you could get away with them too, because most cities are only 100 miles apart. Whereas, out here in North America, where cities are, a 500-mile drive to get to where you're going, you don't want to be stopping every 100 miles.
Exactly, and Bob. You're describing why a spoon is not good to change your oil with. I mean, it's not designed for that. It's designed for someone who works a couple miles. Like this weekend in Atlanta, we were going out to dinner, and we're like, oh, this thing's 5 miles away. So I'm like, cool. Like, I was texting people. I'm like, well, we'll see you in 5-10 minutes. And then I actually hit the button to get the directions, because I just looked for it on the map, like, oh, it's like right down the street. Clicked on it. It's like, was it 15, 20 minutes or something? It was like, holy crap. Like, the traffic's all crazy. But anyways, everything's like a couple miles apart from each other. So something like that, you'd be fine.
Yeah, and that's exactly where an electric car works just as well too. So I mean, this just seems like something that's going to happen to cars, which are just starting to get accepted, and now somebody's going to come along and say, "This is better. It's an air car," and people are going to be like, no.
Well, no, dude, I can picture them driving around, whatever, like downtown San Diego or LA or something, like where people, or Seattle or something, right? Like, it's going to be in a hippie city first, for sure.
See, that's why that's one of the reasons they want to open their first plant in Hawaii, right? Because Hawaii has big pollution problems, and you don't have very far to go.
Yeah, coming from my background, I don't see building anything for $5 million.
They didn't say they bought into a project for $5 million. They wanted him on board. They needed strategic partners in this country.
I thought that's how much it cost to build the plant. Maybe I missed the first part.
No, you misunderstood it. He's got big money coming from India, where the guy said $5 million is chump change to this guy, but he doesn't have. They came there with 1%. Normally, people come up to that show with 5%. They mainly wanted a business partner, so that's why they gave him 50% of Hawaii for $5 million. So they're probably saying it's going to cost $10 million, I guess, but that's still, like you said, that's probably a different type of factory, though. They don't need to build batteries. You don't need to build gas engines. You're just building.
It's a car to be kind of they're using the design philosophy of the years, and so polystyrene injected body. So
We're only hearing like a quarter of what you're saying.
Yeah, that's all right.
It's probably not a paint shop. It's probably poly-injected, you know, and then they, I don't know, dip everything else.
He's dissing painting. When it's dipped. Out of business, Maggie. Air cars putting you out of business.
You know what? I worked in e-coding as well, so I understand how that works.
Oh, okay. So
I guess I completely misunderstood the premise then. So I withdraw my original complaint that you can build a plant for $5 million, because that's not what they were saying. So
Correct.
now I still think it's okay. Maybe it might sell a little bit, but.
And you never know. The plant could just be to assemble them, right? We've got this big factory.
Yeah, it probably is, because very rarely do they come like raw materials in one side and everything out the other.
Well, yeah, I agree with that. I'm just.
It has a huge automotive infrastructure in India. These things out and the body, and you know, the air tanks, they'll probably have farm technology on them. They're probably going to have carbon fiber, and you know.
Oh my God, my toe hurts.
Angriness?
That gout's still bothering you, huh?
I don't know if it is that nowadays, man. It ballooned up on Saturday. It was bad.
I worked with a woman who was like skinny. She was like, you know, really healthy, really into sports and stuff like that, and she got gout in her foot. So it's just like some people just get it. Mostly fat.
From like olives and pickles and like those kind of foods.
Yeah, I don't. Well, I guess I have some of that, but I don't eat like a lot of that. I heard red meat's a big deal.
You eat Mountain Dew constantly.
Red meat's not a big deal. Red meat is good for you. It keeps you alive.
Well, concerning gout, I've heard that red meat is one of the major contributors to that.
Red meat got gout. Everybody'd have gout in this country.
Yeah. And they're not.
All right, well,
I think it's a tractor because those people are always eating pickles and olives and salami and shit like that.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe salami.
You get it from like deli. Everything that's in a deli that tastes good gives you gout. That's what I've heard.
Go to Subway a lot because.
Probably does.
No.
Apparently, if you go to Subway too much, it turns you into a pedophile too, I guess.
No, we don't have an entertainment segment for Wednesday the 10th. Any ideas?
No.
I don't know, what about shooting sports as an entertainment?
All right.
Oh, that's interesting. Like Three Gun Nation or watching like something. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, international skeet or
Top Shot.
Yeah. Yeah, that was actually, I really liked that show.
Is that a sport though?
No, but it was like competitive shooting in a way. It was just a different competition each week.
It's like that one fight thing where they put like Taekwondo against karate and shit.
Kind of, in a way.
They should make a Top Shot where it's just like one marksman, one action shooter, one military guy or something, one new person, you know, and then give them like a little bit of everything to shoot, like how Top Gun did, or Top Shot did. Make it shoot the different.
That'd be interesting. And then have like world-class instructors, give them all, like do it like what do they call it? Like like The Voice, right? They'd have people come out, and then they'd have these instructors pick them and teach them how to shoot, and see who became the best by the end of it.
Man, Springfield is getting freaking hammered on Instagram.
I need to get the show ready, so I'm jumping out of here. I'll have the link up in a second.
was kind of wondering where that was.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys over there. I guess this one will just end.
I guess that's what's happening. See you, Maggie.
Yep.
In a bit.